I did forget to. I say to you that it was something more I should talk about, so it be a second episode of today. It's about who am the God of Israel, and that is the answer is coming from that the Spirit is coming here and visit me and talk to us, and it started. It's going to come together what have been in the past that I didn't understood in that time. It was before God come and talked to me the first time. It was maybe some year before, and it was in one night I was up in to the upper room, and I met my mother that had passed away in 1990, and I'd be so very surprised, and I didn't know anything about heaven or God. And I asked my mother how it was, how is it to be dead? I said to her, and she didn't like the question. She looked at me like, you're a stupid little thing, like that. And instead she didn't answer me, but instead she said that you on earth, you think there is only one God, but we are many, she say. And and then she told me that she was a god, a smaller god. In her way to talk, I understood that she was talking about smaller god. There is many small gods in heaven. There is only one God that supreme, the one God. But then is it many under him that hold in all these things going on earth, and we know that because of the spirits that coming through here, and she said that she was in a God over one little city. She told me, and I'd be confused because she have never lived there in that city. But then later on, after many years, I understood what she was talking about. That she was one of those so-called gods that was in heaven and took care of those people that is coming to heaven, and she make the decision where they should stay in heaven, and she was holding in the court, and I got confirmed when I met an angel also earlier that talk about my mother, that she was so very wise and she knew so very much things, and she was a little close to God, and but she didn't really got confirmed that about God, but she was a godly woman in her way, and then now when those spirits is coming here, and they have not all of the angels, the spirits are not to one person. You have different angels, you have different spirits around you. So we don't have them all. Everyone have all of the angels, or someone have no angels around them. Spirits around angel and spirits is not the same, but they are together, and I have talked about that in other episodes. So who is God of Israel? That is what my mother was telling me for so many years ago, before God come, and I I didn't know him. But she said that she was taking charge of cities, and God of Israel, he is the that hold this people, that is nation, not the country Israel, the nation, those people. You don't need to be Jewish. I am not against Jewish people, because I have 25% Jewish in my DNA. But it's all people that can be the God's people, God's nation, and God's people. It's not that God is holding a country Israel. It's he is all over the world, and you don't need he. One time I asked God, when I come back from Israel, I asked God, God, do I need to live in Israel when you are coming back, when you are coming to earth? Do I need to be on the Mount of Olives to see you coming and Messiah coming? And God answered me very quick, almost directly, and he said that I will find you wherever you are. That was God was telling me, and I know it now. It's confirmed that he is here in Sweden. He's coming into my home and talking to me and you. So we don't need to be in Israel. That is, I I have so much knowledge about Israel and all this greed of this country, Israel, how much they want money and fake for people to get money from tourist things. And it's very big business to be guide, to guide people, to bring them around in Israel and show them places for much money in buses and go around. It's a big business. They create. When I first time I was in Israel, I be so surprised when I find out they say that, like, they didn't know where Jesus was walking with the cross, and they there was some caves to go in and buildings to go in that they have created today, maybe not today but 100 years ago, for to get money, and lie to people that here is the place where Gabriel was in his grave, and like that. I only say an example, and it was not true. that I got to know it. God have shown me so much lies, what people are doing against him, because everything is against him, because God is not money, but it's cheap to come to fly to Israel, but it's very expensive. The hotels are very expensive because they want the money. They want you to come to Israel, so it's not so expensive. But then they want you to spend the money in Israel. And God has shown me so much. He has shown me so much. And it's sad that it's coming up now to the sure face about these fake things that's going on and have going on for generations back. The biggest fake is year 325. That's the first biggest fake was when they invent Jesus to be God, and because of Constantine wanted, because he thought like that, and he needed to have a God that you can see and touch and hear here on earth, walking around. And so this is who is God of Israel? God of nation. God of nation. Nation is those that is under Jacob, that Jacob's lineage, that is everyone that is coming out from it. And it should, if we know much more about Jacob, we should study Jacob to know why God picked Jacob to be Israel. But Israel is not a country. So God of Israel is the same God as it was for Jacob and Abraham and all those prophets in all time. That's the same God from the Old Testament God, that is God of Israel and no one else. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.